There are many fat loss methods that works. However, many of them are hard to sustain and many people end up gaining the weight back plus more. But don't fret because I have the number one fat loss solution. And in today's video, I'm going to share that with you so that you can finally start to shed that excess fat and keep it off for good. You don't want to miss this.
Give me some! Give me some! P.T. Good for you! Good for you! Good for me! Good for me! Give me some!
Alright, I'm just going to dive right in. The number one fat loss solution is this. Stop combining simple carbohydrates with high amounts of bad dietary fats. Before I explain, I have to make this clear. Carbs don't make us fat. I'm going to say that again. Contrary to popular belief, carbs do not make us fat. Carbs mainly store within the muscle cells. Fat stores within the fat cells. What makes us fat is when we combine those simple carbohydrates with that tasty, good, bad, unhealthy dietary fat. Let me tell you why. When we eat carbs, we get an insulin spike. Insulin is like a cop directing traffic. Insulin directs carbohydrates to go into the muscle cells and the liver. And insulin also directs fat to be stored in the fat cells. Dietary fat in the presence of insulin will not be burned for energy. It will be stored instead because the body prefers to use carbohydrates for energy. This is why the keto diet is so effective. Now, I'm not recommending the keto diet. I brought that up to make this point. The researchers of keto understand that simple carbohydrates should not be mixed with high amounts of dietary fat because carbs will be burned for energy and fats will be stored. I want you to write that in the comments section. Carbs will be burned for energy and fats will be stored. I don't do keto. I eat tons of carbs while keeping my body fat low. The only reason I'm able to do this is because I don't combine simple carbohydrates with unhealthy dietary fats. And neither should you if you are serious about finally losing that excess body fat and keeping it off for good. Alright, let's dig into some research. In a 1988 study, 2 different species of mice were induced with type 2 diabetes when placed on a high simple carbohydrate and a high fat diet. In a follow-up study, researchers reversed the type 2 diabetes in both species of mice by simply changing their diet. This research, as well as many others in the health literature, has great implications for us as humans that we shouldn't consume that type of diet and how this may protect us from type 2 diabetes. However, I'll cover that subject in another video. Okay, let's talk about another study. I'll put the link to this study in the description. In a 2018 study, researchers discovered that the combination of simple carbohydrates and fats stimulates the reward center of the brain and releases dopamine. If you know anything about dopamine, it is the same chemical that is released during sex. Dopamine is also associated with addictions. And so the researchers of this study concluded that simple carbohydrates combined with fats has a super additive effect, which would explain why we tend to gravitate towards these unhealthy food choices, especially during difficult times. They stimulate the reward center of the brain, giving us a good feeling, which can lead to food addictions. Understanding how food impacts us psychologically is important to know because many of us are dealing with the pressures of life, we're dealing with stress, we're dealing with money and relationship problems, etc. And we tend to run to these foods because they provide us with some type of high, but at the expense of our health. Exercise also provides us with the same type of high with positive side effects. So it all boils down to choices. We must make choices to be fit for life and everyone else who's watching that is going to add value to our health, not take it away. Let's make this practical. Simple carbs are broken down in the body quickly and provides little to no nutritional value. Unhealthy fats are saturated and trans fats, also called partially hydrogenated oil. Okay, now that we know what simple carbohydrates and unhealthy fats are, let's have an eat this, not that moment. I'll provide you with some simple carbohydrates and unhealthy fat meal combinations and tell you what you should eat instead. Meal 1. You have a serving of grits, 2 pieces of white bread toasted with butter and jelly, 3 slices of pork bacon, and a glass of OJ. This is a high simple carbohydrate and unhealthy fat meal, a recipe for fat gain. Okay, let's break it down. This meal has 11 grams of saturated fat and 111 grams of simple carbs. The carbs will be burned for energy and the fat will be stored. Instead, have a serving of grits with avocado butter and pink salt, 2 scrambled eggs with fat-free cheese, a 4-ounce chicken breast, water and or coffee with stevia and almond creamer, with an orange. Leave out the bread and OJ. So this new meal, you have your simple carbohydrates. However, you have lean protein and some healthy fats. Meal 2. A fatty steak with a fully loaded potato, a buttery dinner roll, and some lemonade. Here's the problem with this meal. The steak has about 21 grams of saturated fat. The fully loaded potato and buttery dinner roll has about 31 grams of saturated fat and 67 grams of carbs. The lemonade has about 32 grams of simple carbs. This meal has 52 grams of total saturated fat. That's 41 grams more than the recommended daily allowance for the average 2,000 calories per day diet. It has 72 grams of total fat mixed with 99 grams of carbs. This is a fat storing meal. Instead, have the potato with avocado butter, some pepper, pink salt, with salmon, a dinner roll with a little avocado butter, and some veggies. Or do a lean steak with veggies. Leave out the carbs. These are much healthier choices. Here's another one. A double cheeseburger, fries, and a soda. Let's break this one down. The meat and cheese are saturated fats. The bun is a simple carb. The fries are simple carbs and saturated fat combined. The soda is simple carbs. This meal has about 25 grams of saturated fat, 69 grams of total fat, and about 141 grams of simple carbs. This is a recipe for fat gain. The carbs will be burned and the fats will be stored. Here you have your donuts and latte. The donuts are nothing but fat and sugar mixed together. The latte is full of sugar from the syrup and fat from the creamer. This combination has about 15 grams of saturated fat and 62 grams of simple carbs. Not good. I can go on, but you get the point. It all boils down to discipline and making smart food choices. Do it today. Stop putting it off. No more excuses. Be serious about your health and the body that you want. See it, believe it, and make it happen. We only have one life to live, so we might as well make it the best life. Put all of this information into action. Get rid of the simple carb and high-fat diet. Limit those treats to special occasions such as birthdays, social events, anniversaries, etc. Eat complex carbs, healthy fats, and quality protein as a way of life. Finally, combine these dietary changes with 3 to 4 consistent days of exercise per week. This is the #1 fat loss solution. Work it and it will work. If you need some help, email me at teamfitforlife@outlook.com. I'm here to support you. Like this video, share it with a friend. You never know, you might change a life. I want you to be part of Team Fit for Life. Subscribe to this channel. Never miss a video. Coach Ty signing off. See you soon.